Hi everybody. Today I'm going to be talking about stumbling. That's an interesting word, stumbling. When I think of that word, I think about perhaps falling over, perhaps having to go over an obstacle and maybe not going over it as easily as I first thought. Maybe stumbling is about learning a new skill and maybe not doing it quite so gracefully to begin with. But do you know what? We all stumble and we all fall over it at different times. I wonder if you can remember when you first learned to ride a bike. I don't know about you, but I can remember I've seen films of myself where I got up and then I fell over and tried again. Lots of times we stumble in life. Now I want to play you this video. One, it's quite entertaining and it's about a toddler and a toddler learning to walk. Now, I don't know about you, but as a toddler, we stumble a lot when we learn to walk. We fall down, we get up, we fall down. So I want you to look at this video, but also to count how many times this baby stumbles. Here we go. So there you go. I love that film because it makes me realize that as a baby, everything that you do is brand new and you're learning all the time. And so of course you're going to stumble because you've never done it before. And as I watched that baby, I noticed that sometimes the baby would get up, it would wobble a bit and then fall over. Other times it would use things to pull itself up and it would wobble a bit and fall over. And then sometimes you could see there was something there that would coax it to come and try and take a step. And often the dad, after, they've made that effort, would pat him on the back and go, well done. Because when you stumble and you get back up again and someone says, keep going, you can do it, it makes all the difference. And you know what? That baby had this big smile on its face to go, you know what? I can do this. And each time it didn't worry that it kept falling over. It got up again and it kept trying. It kept trying and kept trying until soon it could walk no problems. And then after walking, they start running everywhere. Then after running, they get to learn to ride a bike and they have to start all over again, and they stumble and they fall. And so that is the cycle of learning. It's a process. And the process always starts with a bit of a wobble. It always starts with, I'm not quite sure I can do this. It always starts with a stumble, with not quite being as perfect as it needs to be. And so we need to remember that in life, we face challenges all the time. And sometimes we think we need to get it perfect, but there is no perfect. It's just giving it a try. Sometimes it's just showing up and going, you know what, I don't care if I win or I lose or how I look doing this. I'm just going to give it my best and I'm going to give it a go. You know, and I'm sure you can find plenty of examples where there's been times where you've stumbled and felt things difficult and challenging. Perhaps it's been with your schoolwork in trying to learn your tables. Maybe it's been when you've taken on a new sport or learnt an instrument. It can be very tricky at times. And there may be times even where you go, you know, I feel like giving up. But actually, if we keep going, we know that we can actually conquer it and we can actually do it. But the key is in not giving up. And sometimes what's really important when things are tough is to really look at what we're focusing on. If we're focusing on all the difficulties and all the times we've stumbled and all the times that we've hurt our knee or that we've hurt our pride in some way, it can be very challenging. But if we look at the bigger picture and see our end goal in sight and we hold that, then that can be really helpful. Often people say, and you may have seen this as well, I'm going to just share my screen with you here. These words here, let me just share that. I can't. Have you ever heard of that? I can't do this. If we can change that and make it I can, it can make a big difference. There's another one. I've written some sentences here, and you might think that you may have said some of these at times in your schooling. Here we go. It says, I haven't managed to tie my shoelaces. And I know quite a number of children here at school who aren't able to do their shoelaces. Or I'm unable to paint a self-portrait. Can be quite tricky at hard to do some painting, especially if it's of yourself. Or I haven't managed to pass my tables test or move from one level to the next. I'm not friends with them. Now, all of those things feel quite definite and quite like there's not much sense of possibility. But you know what? We could add one little tiny word to those sentences and it could make all the difference. It could open it up and give us some sense of hope. Does anyone know what that word might be? You're right. Here it is. It's got 3 letters. It's yet. And now let's read those sentences again with the word yet after them. I haven't managed to tie my shoelaces yet. I am unable to paint a self-portrait yet. I haven't managed to pass my times tables yet. I'm not friends with them yet. Yet means I may not be able to do it right at this moment, but it doesn't mean that I can't do it. There is always a possibility, and the more I work at it, and I may stumble many times, but there is a possibility that I am able to do it. And in fact, I don't know any adult who can't tie their shoelaces. It just takes time. I also don't know anyone who is not able to do some sort of painting. People may not think they're very good at it, but we can all paint. So there's always a possibility. And if we use that word and we change our language, it can make it a lot more easier. And when I think about places where I've stumbled, I think of this because I learnt to ski when I was over 40 actually, and I came over to England and I saw snow for the first time. And I went, you know what, I am going to learn to ski. Never done it before. And I spent a lot of time like these two here, falling down the mountain, having lots of bruises all over me. Many times did I cry and go, I don't think I can do this. But I kept getting up and having another go, getting up and having another go. Now I can ski now. It's not pretty all the time, and I certainly still stumble. But do you know what? I would never have got there if I didn't just keep going. And that's the most important thing, that we get back up again and that we see that each time that we stumble, we can learn something and we can get stronger and better at what we do. So if we look at setbacks, we can see them as opportunities to learn, to get feedback on how we're doing things and maybe make slight adjustments to improve. It offers us a chance to reflect and to refine maybe something that we've done and change our plans even. It helps us to develop resilience, and resilience is about being able to bounce back from things that may not always go our own way. We could also say it's about persistence. Persistence is about not giving up. It's about keep trying. And it enables us to understand other people's experiences better, because we all face setbacks. And if we can have empathy for how someone else might be struggling with things, then we might be able to help encourage them and support them in their struggles and in their stumblings to be able to actually be able to achieve what it is that they want to do. In the Bible, it talks a lot about various things about struggles and about challenges. And in Joshua 1, verse 9, it says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." So that's saying to me, go out there, take a risk, be courageous. Don't be frightened about things and know that God is always with you. There's always a support system behind you. And one of my favorite verses comes from Philippians chapter 4, verse 13. It says, "I can do all things through him who strengthens me." And anything is possible with God on your side. And God says he is always there for us, no matter in our stumbles, in our challenges, in the things that work and don't work. He is always there. So let's end with a prayer. Dear God, thank you that we can learn from every difficult situation. Please help us to be people of resilience. Help us to be strong and courageous and give things a go. And help us to get back up again when things go wrong. Help us to never give up. Help us to persevere. Thank you that you promise to always be with us and that all things are possible through you. Amen. So I hope that you realise that struggles and stumbling are all part of learning, okay? So don't feel bad if you fall down. Just pick yourself back up and try again and try again. And soon things will get easier and better. And to remember that God is always with us. Have a lovely day, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.